Battlefield 6 is one of the most important releases for the series in over a decade. And in today's video, we're going to lay out 10 things before you guys decide to make the purchase. From its destruction mechanics to class design, and from squad revival changes to map layouts, everything points toward a deliberate return to Battlefield's roots. Not vague impressions, but grounded details from first-hand play and developer insights. Let's begin. A true successor to Battlefield 3 and 4. Battlefield 6 positions itself deliberately as the spiritual continuation of Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. DICE's developers, including creative director Thomas Anderson, emphasized that the modern combat tone, pacing and sandbox design were modeled after those entries. Gunplay is weightier than Battlefield 2042, with recoil and weapon spread closer to BF3. Vehicles once again dominate the flow of maps, with tanks and helicopters forming the backbone of large-scale battles. Importantly, Anderson admitted they pulled a dose of inspiration from Bad Company's destruction systems, though refined for competitive balance. Fans expecting the futuristic gadgets of 2042 won't find them here. Gear and vehicles sit squarely in a grounded 2027 setting. The campaign and multiplayer both use BF3/4's mix of gritty realism and chaotic spectacle. From movement responsiveness, this return to basics approach is deliberate, a way of repairing trust after 2042's identity crisis. DICE chose restraint over gimmicks, reducing scale to focus on tight, chaotic urban battles. If you loved BF3's Metro, or BF4's Siege of Shanghai, this is a game intentionally cut from the same cloth, complete with squad cohesion as the pillar of design. The developers repeatedly called Battlefield 6 their course correction for the series. Deterministic destruction instead of chaos. Destruction in Battlefield 6 is not random. Unlike older games where explosions could fracture buildings unpredictably, here, destruction follows predetermined structural breakpoints. A tank shell fired at a Brooklyn apartment corner will collapse in the same pattern across matches, though particle effects and smoke vary slightly. Anderson defended this approach by stressing tactical destruction, a system players can learn and master over time. Once you understand what walls collapse into cover, or which rooftops expose defenders, destruction becomes part of strategic planning instead of random spectacle. DICE found that full physics-driven destruction caused readability problems in competitive play. The new system ensures clarity while preserving cinematic scale. Not everything is scripted, though. The order of collapses still depends on what's targeted, and localized debris scatters differently each time. Think of it as controlled chaos. Predictable in broad strokes, dynamic in detail. The end goal is for players to rely on knowledge, not luck, when shaping battlefields. It also improves performance across platforms, making large-scale collapse events less taxing on consoles and mid-tier PCs. While some will miss the raw unpredictability of Bad Company 2, the developers believe this balance provides destruction that's impactful, fair, and tactically significant. Classic classes return, but guns are open. After Battlefield 2042 abandoned traditional classes in favor of specialists, Battlefield 6 restores the series' original archetypes: Assault, Engineer, Support, and Recon. Each class regains its role, identity through gadgets and passive abilities rather than weapon restrictions. For example, engineers specialize in vehicle control with rockets, mines, and repair tools, while assault soldiers excel in frontline pushes with ladders and extra mobility. Recon retains drones, laser designators, and sniper gear, and support once again anchors squads with healing, ammo crates, and deployable cover. Unlike earlier games, weapons are not tied to a single class. Any class can wield any rifle, shotgun, or LMG, allowing customization while maintaining role diversity through gadget limitations. This prevents a return to everyone spams assault, as seen in older titles. It also enables hybrid loadouts. Imagine a recon carrying an SMG for close combat while spotting tanks with a drone. During testing, gadgets clearly define playstyles, so squads still need balanced compositions. Post-beta feedback also led EA to add a playlist with stricter weapon restrictions, creating a mode closer to BF3's legacy for purists. The end result is a flexible system. Classic Battlefield structure, preserved but modernized for accessibility and player freedom. Enhanced mobility and vehicle interaction. Battlefield 6 introduces significant mobility upgrades that reshape infantry and vehicle synergy. Players can now cling to vehicles using the new hitch-a-ride mechanic, hanging off tanks, APCS, and even trucks if all seats are filled. This expands vehicle utility, but comes with risk. Exposed riders are vulnerable to small arms fire and explosives. Infantry movement itself has been expanded. Combat roles mitigate fall damage, peeking and leaning allow corner engagements without full exposure, and weapon mounting on surfaces reduces recoil during suppressive fire. These changes build upon Battlefield's traditional fluidity while avoiding 2042's overcomplicated parkour mechanics. The intention is to give players more options for positioning and mobility without breaking the grounded tone. During preview matches, hitching rides created cinematic chaos, entire squads clinging to an advancing tank, unloading rifles into defenders while engineers repaired armor mid-push. Coupled with the drag and revive mechanic, mobility now defines both survival and squad tactics. Drag and revive system expands squad play. Reviving teammates has always been central to Battlefield's squad-driven gameplay, but Battlefield 6 takes it further with drag and revive. Beyond simply reviving on the spot, players can now grab downed allies and drag them toward cover before completing a revive. This mechanic reduces the risk of both players being eliminated in open areas and encourages squad loyalty. Combined with support's defibrillator instant revive, drag and revive creates layered revival strategies. In practice, dragging feels cinematic, pulling a bleeding comrade behind rubble while gunfire rains overhead. The mechanic also integrates tactically. Players must balance dragging distance with exposure time, since dragging slows your movement. The developers noted that revives now carry weight beyond animation. Revivers can reposition allies, alter firefights, and preserve squad cohesion in ways that feel heroic. Drag and revive adds tactical nuance and cinematic immersion without straying from grounded realism. It rewards teams that stick together, turning revives into some of the most intense and memorable Battlefield moments. Battlefield Portal rebuilt with deep custom tools. Battlefield Portal, first introduced in 2042, returns in Battlefield 6 with massive upgrades. The Experience Builder now includes a spatial editing tool, allowing map geometry adjustments and placement of interactive elements, such as movable objectives or destructible cover. Even more striking, creators can design custom user interfaces within the Portal framework. EA demonstrated that one developer used these tools to recreate Pong within Battlefield's HUD, showing the system's flexibility. This level of customization enables players to design entirely new game types beyond traditional combat, mini-games, training courses, even puzzle maps. For serious community creators, this is closer to Halo's Forge than Portal's initial offering. Grass, the executive producer, stressed accessibility. While the tools are deep, streamlined presets and templates ensure casual users can create modes quickly. During previews, the Portal drew cheers when developers showcased custom modes using only melee weapons, aerial-only combat, and time-limited objectives. The system has potential to keep Battlefield 6 fresh well beyond its launch content, empowering community-driven creativity. Expect Portal to produce highlight reels and viral modes that extend the game's cultural footprint. It is no longer a gimmick, it's a full creative suite embedded into the Battlefield ecosystem. 9 launch maps, including Operation Firestorm. Battlefield 6 ships with 9 multiplayer maps, all designed for distinct combat scales. Highlights include the remake of Battlefield 3's Operation Firestorm, an oil refinery engulfed in smoke and fire, complete with modern destruction layers. Other maps range from the dense streets of Brooklyn, Empire State, to the mountainous Tajik terrain of Liberation Peak. Maps like Siege of Cairo and Iberian Offensive emphasize close-quarters infantry combat, while Mirak Valley is the largest at launch, hosting combined arms warfare with every vehicle type available. Notably, maps are subdivided into combat zones, enabling smaller modes like Squad Deathmatch to use cut-down sections of larger maps. This flexibility ensures each map supports both vehicle-focused conquest matches and infantry-only firefights. Developers confirmed more maps will arrive post-launch, with classic fan favorites potentially remastered. Importantly, map scale was a conscious design shift after 2042's oversized arenas. DICE wanted to bring chaos back into tighter, more readable engagements. From previews, these maps feel deliberately crafted to create intensity, variety, and memorable destruction events. Shotguns are devastating in close quarters. During preview matches, one weapon stood out as a game changer: the pump-action shotgun. Its raw, stopping power dominates close quarters combat, capable of wiping entire squads in confined spaces. The design philosophy here mirrors Battlefield 3's infamous M1014, high risk due to range limitation, but unmatched lethality indoors. Developers tuned spread and pellet damage to ensure reliability at short distances, avoiding the inconsistency often associated with shotguns in competitive shooters. Importantly, the shotgun isn't overpowered across all contexts. It remains nearly useless in open fields against rifles and LMGs. This balance forces players to adapt, swapping to shotguns when objectives funnel combat into narrow alleys or interiors. Expect shotguns to define certain modes, particularly Domination and Squad Deathmatch. For players who thrive in close quarters chaos, the shotgun will be a core part of their Battlefield 6 arsenal. Escalation mode introduces shrinking domination. Battlefield 6 debuts a new multiplayer mode called Escalation. It operates similarly to Domination, where teams fight to control multiple capture points, but with one key twist: capture zones disappear over time. As the match progresses, surviving control points force players into tighter zones, escalating into massive concentrated firefights. This shrinking objective mechanic drives squad coordination, as lone players get funneled into overwhelming clashes. Developers compared it to a reverse conquest, where scale contracts instead of expands. Though unavailable in the preview, Escalation is confirmed to join 7 legacy modes at launch: Conquest, Rush, Breakthrough, Team Deathmatch, Squad Deathmatch, Domination, and King of the Hill. This mode reflects DICE's willingness to innovate, while still preserving Battlefield's DNA. The emphasis is on pacing. Matches that start wide and tactical end in high-stakes brawls. Escalation could emerge as Battlefield 6's signature competitive mode, a middle ground between Battlefield's sandbox chaos and the intensity of smaller esports-ready shooters. Release date, betas and platforms. Battlefield 6 officially launches on October the 10th, 2025 across PC, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series XS. 2 public betas were already held in August, running August 9 to 10 and 14 to 17, which drew massive participation. At one point, BF6 cracked Steam's top 100 most played games of all time. These betas confirmed server stability is still a concern. Expect queues at launch due to demand. Pricing is set at $70 for the standard edition, with premium bundles available but no early access restrictions tied to them. Post-launch, EA confirmed seasonal content will expand maps, modes, and cosmetics, though cosmetics are promised to remain grounded compared to competitor shooters. Notably, the Steam version does not require EA's launcher, a welcome quality-of-life change. With a single-player campaign also included, Battlefield 6 aims to launch as the most complete package since BF4. For fans burned by 2042's messy rollout, this October will mark the franchise's biggest attempt at redemption. Battlefield 6 sure feels like a course correction that brings the franchise back to its foundation. With release locked for this October, this is the Battlefield that both veterans and newcomers should pay attention to. Squad play has never mattered more.